Here we go, time for the finale of season number 1 of this McLaren Return to Glory career mode here today for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So, before we jump into the action and some bombshell news, which you may tell by the title, if you haven't seen the last episode guys from yesterday, my first ever race on this game at Las Vegas, go check it out, and that sets the scene for this finale episode. Now then, in the background you can see we have a marketing department event. We also have our contract renewal, which never happens now. It's always after Abu Dhabi, but this game is a bit broken, so we're doing it before the last race, and that is going to have a knock-on effect in terms of other driver transfers. So this marketing event, which was a continuation of the last episode, gave us a bit of a hit on the driver acclaim, but that's not too much of an issue. We then got a supplier upgrade for the engine, and we're going to go ahead and add to that by doing a diffuser upgrade for next season's car. Now with that done, we're going to focus on the R&D in the next episode, try to improve and protect and change things for Season 2. We now have our contract renewal on the table, and doing it before Abu Dhabi is very weird to me. There was a patch released which, in theory fixed this, but hasn't been the case. Either way, McLaren accepted my approach, and at this point it was time to bargain what was going to be the best offer for me as a contract. And last time, mid-season when we negotiated our deal, it was the medium risk, and we're going to go for that again. Hopefully we get the same outcome. Yes, we do. Right, so we're not leaving McLaren, we're still put, which is good. We still have a job, we're still employed, and we now have plenty of cash to spend. So we're going to go ahead and spend it on power mapping. The reason for that, engine wear has been very high in this car. We don't need extra R&D points, we're more than fine as we are, and we're able to get upgrades very easily. But that's not all. We talked about driver transfers. Well, there's a big shuffle, because as you guys know, Fernando Alonso was confirmed to retire. It got confirmed at the Spanish Grand Prix he was going to call it a day, and that has had a ripple effect. As for the performance for the last time this season, you can see pretty much it's a top 7 with Williams, Alfa Romeo and AlphaTauri at the back. So yeah, a very compressed and competitive grid. Red Bull have a slight edge over everyone, but from Aston Martin down to us, it's so tight. But here we go. Here are the transfers. Ahead of schedule, Alonso leaves, and he's replaced by Charles Leclerc. And not just that, they've also fired Lance Stroll, which means Oscar Piastri has been picked up from the darkness, from the reserve pool, and Aston Martin have a brand new lineup of Charles Leclerc and Oscar Piastri. Because of that, the dominoes remaining, Bottas goes to Ferrari, which is incredible. Magnussen then goes to Alfa Romeo to replace Bottas, Albon to Haas to replace Magnussen, and Paul Chair steps up to Williams to replace Alex Albon. So the dominoes have fallen. Stroll is out of Formula 1 and Alonso has retired. So the landscape has changed, and also our targets. Alonso was our main rival in the Drivers' Championship, and he is not in the sport anymore. So we have officially clinched 7th place in the Drivers' Championship. We've also mathematically secured P4 in the Constructors, so we don't actually have anything to fight for anymore in today's episode, with that massive ripple effect on driver transfers and them happening before the last race. So this is essentially a preview in many ways, a pre-season match, if you will, of what could happen next season with the lineup. Having said that, the title race has also been pretty much put to bed. Verstappen was up by 25 points in the Drivers' Championship. The main rival was Charles Leclerc, and he's now moved to Aston Martin. So barring a miracle, I think it's pretty much done, because Leclerc was super strong in the Ferrari. Even though the Ferrari wasn't as fast as the Aston in performance chart purposes, the Ferrari just seemed to be faster. So a lot has changed and a lot to process. We're going to take a new engine, or the newest possible components for qualifying. Practice went reasonably well, and yeah, incredible, man. What an absolute change of dynamic. I'm very excited, because this is going to give us some real exciting lineups for Season 2. Maybe there could be some other changes during the off-season, who knows, but I'm happy with what we've got already. That's going to be a very spicy lineup. And Aston Martin with Charles Leclerc and Oscar Piastri, that is one hell of a lineup. Absolutely insane. That is, even I'm excited about that. That is something I would, sign up on as a team principal. So yeah, Bottas at Ferrari. Who would have thunk that 3 years ago, when he was at Mercedes. And K-Mag switches from Haas to Alfa Romeo, which could well happen in real life, as there is a rumour in real life that Haas and Alfa Romeo may merge as a team. So Yeah, it's crazy, man. So much happening and so much to process. Either way, qualifying time and time to get our serious face on. Our first lap, a 122.2 as a reference banker. So we're now going to go for a second lap and try to improve and see what we can do. And yeah, we'll see exactly what the kind of pace is. It seems like we're a bit off the pace, a bit like Vegas, just struggling a bit. I have changed the components, which I thought might have given us a bit more of an edge, but it seems to be I'm still lacking a bit of pace. So it's going to be a bit of a salvage job, at least in qualifying anyway, in terms of our one lap pace. So currently sector 1 up by a tenth, which is actually pretty decent to be fair. We do a 16.9. Now making our way out of turn 5, we're going to basically maintain that 2/10 advantage throughout the 2 straights. And now into sector 3, you can see we're just a fraction down on Hulkenberg as we look to improve on this lap. Still carrying that advantage as we make our way into the hotel section. This is where I felt like there was a bit more time to find. Just trying to throw the car around the slow speed stuff and trying to maximize mechanical grip. And you can see we're finding a bit of time here as we make our way through the final couple of corners. Now, the final corner very tough as you brake on that curb, which is very bumpy and wants to unsettle the car. Exit really good, and we improved by just over 3/10. Not really a change to the position, still P13, but we increase the advantage and the margins. And looking at the gaps, I think we're safe because both AlphaTauris, both Williams, and both Alfa Romeos are behind us, as the performance chart suggests. So, yeah, pretty much no surprises. And in many ways, the performance of the cars here very reminiscent of the performance chart and kind of lines up quite nicely. So, yeah, Q1 in the books, and we finished 13th comfortably through. The thing to note, Bottas ahead of Sainz in his debut for Ferrari. Big surprise there. Into Q2 then. Fresh set of soft tyres on our car. A little bit wide of the apex there through the right-hander as we look to try and set a decent banker in this session. Piastri right now is the reference, P11 in 21.9. Through the final couple of corners, we're going to try and keep it nice and tight. A little bit tight through the final corner, up to the line 21.7, and that is the P11 for us now. 4/10 off Bottas and quite a way off potentially getting through, to be honest. So yeah, that lap was pretty decent. I know there's a bit of time to find, but I'm not sure if there's 5-6 tenths. I don't know if I've got that sort of pace, but we'll give it a shot. We almost did it in Vegas, so let's see if we can try to deliver. So turn number 1, bring the car over to the right, brake just after the 100 down to 4th gear. Clip the inside curb to rotate the car and get the drive. Flat out through 2 and then through 3, try to get some of the inside curb to gain a bit of lap time. Turn 4, flat out, turn 5, brake at the 50, down to 3rd gear and try to hook the corner around so you get a late apex and get a very strong exit, which is exactly what we do. I actually went up on the front wing for this run, so we might be down on straight line speed slightly, but we should find a bit of cornering performance. Now the chicane, brake at the 100 if you can. I broke just before, my brakes aren't quite good enough, so we have to brake a bit earlier. Smooth on the power, try to floor it in 3rd, and then drive through the gears as we make our way down the second back straight. And now prepare the final sector. So for this one, brake at the 50 again, down a 4th gear. Try to stay tight as that finds time and then drive kind of straight onto this exit curb to open up the steering lock. And now flat out through here, hard on the brakes into...
And that's just 30 seconds left in the session.
The hotel section, floating through these very tricky off-cambered corners and now making our way into the final couple of corners here to try and close out the lap. This might just get us in the mix. It's a decent lap, but through the final corner we just invalidate, which is really unfortunate. A 21.415, which is a personal best, very good lap, but it's not going to count. So that's going to be the end of our qualifying session. And yeah, pretty much that's all she wrote for qualifying in season 1, which, yeah, I'm not mad about it. I mean, in Q1 we did a 21.8, Q2 21.4 invalid. So yeah, we did the best we could. I feel like I could have maybe challenged Bottas for P11, maybe a 0.2. Wasn't impossible, but yeah, I think P12 would have been the most realistic outcome in this qualifying. But yeah, pretty much, guys, that is it. And you can see the new kind of updated order of some of the new drivers. So Leclerc, P8 in the Aston Martin, Piastri out in Q2, Bottas out in Q2 in Ferrari colours, Albon in his Haas debut into Q3, and Norris in the top 6. So yeah, guys, qualifying done. Let's get to the race and let's see how things get on with this new look grid in the Season 1 finale.
So here we are, ready to go racing for one final time this year. Another season of victories, controversies and rivalries lies in our wake. And just one challenge remains, here in the United Arab Emirates, on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The drivers will be racing here at the Yas Marina circuit through 16 corners and a lap distance of around 3.28 miles. There are a few opportunities to pass with long straights and DRS zones in 2 places, so plenty of close racing, then plenty of speed and plenty of drama to be found in the laps ahead. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, Norris, Albon, Gasly, Bottas, Hülkenberg, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Martinez, Magnussen, Théo Pourchaire, De Vries, Sargent, Ocon, Joe and Yuki Tsunoda. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. They've been involved in a number of costly incidents lately. That's got to affect their mindset going into this race.
Certainly confidence is an important factor. And every time you're involved in an incident, it's not just the car you damage, but that confidence as well. But all the top racing drivers are able to tune that out when the race gets underway and focus on the job at hand.
Right, here we go then. Time for the Season 1 finale. Abu Dhabi. We're starting from P13, which, yeah, is not really ideal, I'm not going to lie. But then again, because of all the chaos and everything that happened in between the last race and this one, we essentially now have nothing to really fight for. The drivers and constructors titles, or goals more like, are locked in. So we're not going anywhere. So there's nothing to really aim for besides having some fun and making this race entertaining for you guys to watch. So for this one, we're going to go for a simple one-stop, medium to hard. We're going to try and hopefully be a bit aggressive to try and fight and, you know, make some movements happen. The objective for me, I think, is the top 6. I'd love to get that. That would be a good way to close out the season. Potentially top 7 and basically match my championship position. As for fuel, 1 lap extra fuel should be fine. We had some issues in Vegas, but this should be a bit better than that one. Setup, I've actually reverted back to the practice setup, which is 1 less on the front wing because I want to try and be stronger on the straights rather than be, you know, decent in corners. And yeah, pretty much I'm feeling low-key confident. It's a good track for me. I think the race pace should be better. So yeah, let's get into it and let's see what happens, and hopefully we can close it out on a high. Guys, if you're watching up until this point, leave a like on the video, try and smash over 1,000 likes, subscribe for more, and as always, prediction in the comments. Where do you think we'll finish? Let's get into it and let's finish this season. Here we go. The last race. A new driver lineup. Lights are on. And run away. Whoa, someone had a poor start up ahead. Contact with Bottas there. Really big contact, but somehow I think no damage or warning for contact. Got such a good getaway. Side by side here with Magnussen in his first race in the Alfa Romeo. Luckily we're able to hold it around the outside. We're going to force him the long way round into turn 5, and we'll just hold the inside line. Magnussen though ran the outside, tries to return the favour, leaving space as we now switch the battery on. Let's see if we can try and hold our own. Now VMAX were pretty similar. Now Magnussen pulls ahead on the brakes. Gonna see if I can try and set up a good exit here. Okay, Mag's still there. Slight bit of contact, which does ruin the exit. So P14 for now. So we have lost the place, not sure to who. Probably De Vries, maybe De Vries, not sure. Either way, not ideal. Shame because we got such a good start. I couldn't make it count, just got blocked in.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
Just double checking the wing to make sure we have no damage, which is the case. So, right, 28 laps to go. Let's try and see if we can make some progress here and have a better race than Vegas. Right, decent exit. We've closed in on Piastri and De Vries, and now Piastri in his debut for Aston Martin going for the move here. De Vries now fights back at VMAX, so the top speed of the AlphaTauri kicking in. We're going to have a chance here as they're both side by side to get the exit. Keep it nice and clean. Piastri goes through, or for now on acceleration. We're going to go to the inside and make it 3 wide. Going to stay nice and tight to not wash out wide, but we go through. Nice, clean, double overtake. And those two are still side by side right now, so that's going to continue. But we're going to take those positions and move into P12. Bottas up next in his Ferrari debut, behind his former teammate Hamilton. Who would have thought that? Right, it's kicking off ahead. Got a lot of battery being used right now to try and stay ahead of Piastri. We should get DRS on this next zone as Hamilton and Hulkenberg go side by side. So we can now try and save the batteries a little bit. Let's see if this battle has a knock-on effect and we may have a chance to get ourselves into the points maybe. Hulkenberg clearly lacking a bit of pace. Leclerc has just overtaken them and is now driving off up the road. Hamilton goes through. Early warning. Just running a bit wide there through the hotel section. My pace isn't great. We don't have a lot of pace, to be fair. This might be a tough race in terms of trying to even get a point. So far hanging on, but I don't have a big pace difference to burn if I do overtake. Bottas going through on Hulkenberg. So we're next up. Obviously we can try and pass the Haas. Try and follow Bottas and Hamilton, that would be nice. Hulkenberg's got DRS, but I may be able to look for the move. I'm going to back off though, I'm not going to go for it. It's a battle ahead, so there's positions and time to be gained, so I don't want to affect things right now. You can see there's 3 cars up the road being led by Haas. Now's the time to pass Hulkenberg. Trying to close in there through turn 5. Piastri staying nice and close, nice and tight as we are now going to look for the pass. Ideally, we need to try and slingshot our way into Bottas' DRS. It's 3 wide up ahead, so time loss is going to be inevitable. Hulkenberg trying to re-challenge, and we're going to get DRS here. Albon in his Haas debut, having a decent outing, but now getting overtaken, and Bottas looking to get involved. Leclerc also scrapping with Hamilton up ahead, so this is a constant battle here. This might get us in the mix for points. Again, we're not that fast, but these things are getting us in the fight. Albon here, slightly off pace. Going to go up the inside and send it. So I'll be aggressive. And there we go, into the top 10. I think I might have just got Bottas' DRS there. No, I didn't. Damn. I gave up that entire corner to hopefully get DRS. Still, we'll probably get DRS in the next zone, using the rest of the battery. Albon, Piastri side by side, and they're both closing. We get challenged, which is going to compromise our line, and getting DRS on Bottas, which is not ideal. I needed that really badly. I'm not going to be able to keep Piastri at bay, so I'm not going to try and drain battery to defend. We'll let him go. Wouldn't mind just sitting behind him to recharge for a couple of laps. Another big scrap brewing up ahead. Lando's involved. It's a 5-car scrap. Hamilton, Leclerc joined the fray, and Bottas isn't far away. And visually we're catching really fast. So the front 3, the Red Bulls and Russell are driving off, but this battle right here could be huge. Multi-car scrap. This may give us a chance to fly into higher places without having the pace. It's important now that I try and pass Piastri, as we want to be the first car to catch up to that train. Visually you can see we're catching. We're going to be there at this rate within a lap, so we have to pass Oscar now. Horrible turn 5. I'm struggling on tyres, so we're not going to pass him here, but we may get him on the next one. Let's just try and get nice and close into this brake zone. You can visually see, oh, we lock up, catching the curb. That's really not going to help. Car just does not feel nice to drive right now. Back end is not working. I needed to get that move. It's not going to happen now. Okay, we'll try that again. They're battling up ahead, so there'll be some time loss. Stay off that outside curb, which isn't our friend. Exit was horrible, but we're close enough so we can go for the move and use momentum to try and latch onto the cars ahead. They're battling as well, so they're going to lose time in this final sector. This is clean out, approaching the pit stop window that we try and get within a second and get with these guys. Yellow at the chicane. Big scrap ahead here though, side by side. Hamilton and Leclerc. It's also breaking up the train of cars. Yellow now has gone, so just a spin for an AlphaTauri at the chicane. No DRS, but I'm going to use all my battery here to try and sacrifice to get in for the next zone. Lando's leading this battle. No side-by-side action, but close enough there to nick some DRS. Lovely. Right, now we're in the mix. Right, our battery, no DRS, so Piastri's going to go through here. This is our pit stop lap, so this could be interesting. I'm also going to try brake bias on 56 to see how that holds up. I feel like I'm still somewhat locking the fronts on 57. I can probably get away with a bit more rearward bias. Extending this stint is also great because it's helping us just go a bit longer. So we'll take less pain in the hard tyres. Piastri gives us a squeeze. That was close. I had to hold my breath through that. We'll box this lap then. We'll stick to the strategy.
Understood. Stopping this lap.
Got a wing adjustment also coming our way, so a bit more front wing to help me in the first and third sector. I'm happy to give up a bit of straight line speed. Even though I don't have a massive advantage, I just have to try and be a bit more competitive in the other two sectors. Decent pit entry. We're going to follow Leclerc in. Right, lovely. No speeding. That was pretty much on the money. Let's see if anyone gets held. Maybe. We might gain a bit of time here. Now's the time for a good stop. Great, 2.2. Lovely. And we're going to... Nope, I thought we might have jumped Leclerc there, but not quite. Still, Ocon behind.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
Tap in the back of Leclerc there, in the tunnel. We're going to have DRS on Leclerc, so technically we've done a good job by getting ourselves in the mix. I'm happy to sit behind him, to be fair, and just kind of recharge a little bit. See how the setup adjustment feels with the 56 brake bias, as we're very much in an oversteer kind of situation right now. Leclerc, you can see burning the battery, trying to push here, so we're going to have to cover ourselves. Magnussen here corking the bottle. Leclerc looking to go through. This is going to cost us some time as Lando pits.
Lando's in the pits. Lando in the pits.
Going to have to take a bit of pain in the final sector as we have a yellow again on the back straight.
Some information on Sargent. They're retiring from the race.
So that one's permanent. That is a DNF. Let's see then. Everyone's pit. We'll see where we are amongst the shuffle. I think we've gained here quite a bit with that stop. Racing Lando and Bottas on pit exit. Bottas with a bit of a snap, which moves us into P8. Lando down to 10th, so he's lost out massively in that pit stop phase. Right, happy days. Good pit stop phase, we gained quite nicely. And we're now sitting behind Leclerc in P7. Gasly just up the road, P6. No DRS on the car ahead, so it may be worth looking to try and pass Leclerc here and slingshot onto Gasly. That might be a smart move here. Yellow flag, but we'll clear it. Let's try and get Pierre here. We're going to pass Leclerc and use all the battery to try and latch onto that Alpine and drag him towards us. Using the setup adjustment, the 56 bars feels quite nice actually for once around a track in this game, which is very rare for me to use. Car feels much more on the nose. Bottas, Leclerc right behind. I'm actually going to let Leclerc go. We're going to try and work together here to get Gasly, who seems pretty slippery on the straight and just generally pretty fast. So we'll let Leclerc overtake here, and I'll see if I can try and get him back maybe. Although this isn't exactly gaining us time looking at Pierre. He's actually pretty fast. I'll sit behind Leclerc. I'm happy behind Leclerc. It was working before. I'm not going to change it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I said I'd be aggressive, and I will be, but you have to also be smart. Bottas is going for it. Ferrari's got some pretty decent straight line speed. We'll hold on though. I'm decent on the brakes. That's one thing I'm good at. We'll close the door on him, and that will put him on the back foot. So maybe Lando can try and go through now. Let's see if hopefully Lando can make the move. It does seem like the Bottas Ferrari combo has some pretty decent straight line speed, so it won't be easy. Oh, yellow flag. Is that Lando? Yes, it is.
Okay, clear.
So we're down to McLaren. Lando out of the finale. That's unfortunate. So no double points finish for us in this last race. And that's the end of Lando's season. Pierre's very quick. Very, very quick. I will say, we're, I think, all kind of gradually moving up and actually closing in on Sainz, who's running P4. Hamilton's about to catch him, and if they start to battle, I think Pierre's going to catch him quite quickly, and this could begin the domino effect, which could be the last big train of the season in this race, as we enter the final few laps. Oh, yellow flag. Oh my god. Whoa. Sainz has spun. From a podium position, I mean, I'm taking that. That's going to cause a safety car, surely.
Green flag.
Maybe even a red flag. They've all got going, to be fair. Out of nothing, P5 has been gift wrapped on a silver platter for us. With 6 laps to go, we could be on for a top 5 finish in the finale out of nothing and out of nowhere. Shows about our fight. Never give up. Even though the pace wasn't great this weekend and wasn't great in this race, we did the best we could, made some adjustments on the fly on wing and also, crucially, brake bars. That was the big adjustment, and it all seems to be working quite well. And we've got a full charge now to burn, so let's try and hold on to this P5. Here we go then. Last lap of the race, we've managed to keep the gap to Pierre pretty much under control. Pace was decent. This second stint was so much better. The hard tyre was a better race tyre. Plus one on the front wing made a big difference, and also the key element was the brake bars adjustment. I've never used 56 before. I've always struggled with rear locking, but it works around here quite nicely. Verstappen wins the title in the finale. Leclerc, with that late transfer to Aston Martin, basically lost any chance at the title. So yeah, Verstappen with an open pathway to the championship. Russell second, Perez third, Hamilton fourth due to recovery, and we're going to finish P5, and we'll take that in what has been an excellent season.
Yes, mate, that's it. The season's over, and what a season it's been. Really great effort from you. The whole team is really proud of you, so thank you for a fantastic effort. See you back in the pit lane.
Well, it's certainly been an incredible year for Formula One, and our drivers have all pushed themselves this season, making it one of the most compelling years of racing in history. There can only be one champion, however, and here they are now, our new Formula One World Drivers' Champion. They've done it then. Victory in the last race of the season and the championship as well. What a phenomenal end to a terrific Formula One season. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
There we go, guys. Season 1 of the McLaren Return to Glory has finished. A great year, a really good opening year. We had some great upgrades, some really good results, and things are looking up. Heading into next season, we've already protected every single upgrade, and we can hopefully add some more in between. So it should be a strong off-season for us, and things are looking up. Verstappen wins the race and wins the title in Abu Dhabi. George Russell second, Perez third with a fastest lap of the race, Hamilton P4. So Mercedes clinched the Constructors' Championship as well. We finished in P5 ahead of Pierre Gasly, Valtteri Bottas P7 in his debut for Ferrari, Leclerc, his former car, finishing ahead of him as he finishes in P8. Piastri returns to F1 with the points finish in P9, and Albon P10 closing out the top 10, and Sainz with a costly spin dropping him out the points. Ocon, Magnussen, Zhou, Pourchaire, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, De Vries all close out your race. classifiers, and then Lando and Sargent out of the finale. So, standings, the season concludes with Verstappen actually winning by 46 points in the end, pretty comfortable. Hamilton almost snatched second away from Leclerc, and Russell not too far behind. Then there's a gap to Perez and Sainz. We finish, actually to be fair, only 14 points behind Sainz in the end, so a pretty good shift. We also beat Alonso to P7, who of course retired in this race, so Alonso will not be returning. Stroll's also been dropped from his own team. So Aston Martin going for a fresh approach into the off-season and for Season 2. And Lando P9 comfortably ahead of Pierre Gasly. In the Constructors, P4 is ours, and we're easily ahead of Aston Martin. Mercedes clinch it by 9 points. Red Bull tried and couldn't quite get it. To be fair, had Perez finished in second, it would have been Red Bull's title, but alas, it wasn't enough. So yeah guys, that is it for Season 1. Next episode will be the pre-season / off-season between Seasons 1 and 2. And then we'll jump into Round 1 next season at Bahrain with hopefully an improved car and a new looking car. And I can't wait. So guys, like the video, subscribe for more. That is the key thing here. Let's try and smash over 1,000 likes on the finale and subscribe for more daily F1 content as I'm trying to reach the 100k figure by the end of the year. As always, a big shout out to the members of the channel for supporting me. As always, I see you guys in the comments all the time. So I much appreciate you guys. Finally, check out the 2 videos on your screen right now, guys, if you haven't seen them. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see all of you in Season number 2 of the McLaren Return to Glory.